This is the case of Zachary Davis. Now, you may have heard of this case before because it was publicized on Dr. Phil a few years back. But Zachary was just 15 years old when he received a life sentence for unaliving his mother. Zachary was born to his mother, Melanie Davis, and his father, Chris Davis. His mother was born and raised in Australia. She was a triathlon and a paralegal. She eventually came over to the States, and that's where she met Chris. They got married. They had 2 boys, the first being Josh, and then about a year and a half later is when they had Zachary. Not too long after Zachary turned 9, his dad died, and that's when Zachary started to have really bad mental challenges. He was admitted for psychiatric treatment, but when he got out, his mom enrolled him in school. Students would describe Zachary as being really quiet. They said that he didn't have any friends. A classmate of his at Station Camp High School in Tennessee made a post on Reddit with the name Innocent Acquaintance. And he says, even though him and Zachary wasn't friends, Zachary interacted with him the most because both of their moms were friends. A few other people from school would say they would try to talk to him, but he would just stare at his phone the whole time. He didn't make conversation, rarely made eye contact, and never smiled. The classmate from Reddit, Innocent Acquaintance, said the face in the mugshot is the face he saw every day. People from his school said he wore the same hoodie every day to school and said he would always speak in a very low whisper. They said nothing changed about him in a creepy way. He would always walk the same, talk the same, and sit the same. Innocent Acquaintance said during Zachary's interview with Dr. Phil, he had never heard that voice before. He thinks that Zachary was trying to be intimidating to people.
I looked into her eyes, but she didn't look at me.
But before even recording the interview, Dr. Phil even said that no one wanted to be in the room with Zachary. Not even the guards. They said he had an evil energy around him. Zachary's older brother, Josh, was the complete opposite of Zachary. Josh was popular and he had lots of friends. He was on the football team and he was well liked. But Zachary continued to struggle in school. At 11, he was diagnosed with psychosis and major depressive disorder. Doctors diagnosed him with schizophrenia. He was also on medication and seeing a psychiatrist at a mental hospital. But that doctor later came out to say Zachary's mom quit bringing him after just 4 visits. Around that time is also when Zachary would tell his mother that he was hearing voices. He said he heard his father talking to him at night. Now here is where everyone who was involved lives took a turn for the worst. On August 10th, 2012, Zachary's mother, Melanie, took him and his brother Josh to go see a movie. They went to go see the movie, The Campaign. Then after the movie, they all went home. And all 3 of them went into their own separate rooms. And his mom went to sleep, just not knowing her own son was planning on taking her life that night. When Zachary went into his room, he started packing several items into his backpack. Notebooks, clothing, a toothbrush, gloves, a ski mask, and a claw hammer. So while his mom was sleeping, he went into the garage and got the sledgehammer. He went into his mother's room, and he said when he got in there, he stood there and stared at her for a second, then went over her with the sledgehammer and began to hit his mother over and over again in the head, hitting her in the head around 20 times. Blood was splattered everywhere. Zachary said he remembers the brain matter splattering on his arm, and he didn't care. He just kept on going. He said he was laughing while he was hitting her. Dr. Phil asked him, "Why are you laughing about this?" He said because he's embarrassed.
There was this wet thumping sound.
Yeah. How long before you hit her the second time?
Just a few seconds.
You think she was already dead?
That doesn't make sense. Something is wrong with that. And something else that's wrong is the way that he nods his head. Usually when people nod their head, we start nodding down then up, but he nods up then down. He said his mom woke up but just started seizing. he looked her in the eyes, but she did not look at him. He said he didn't hear her say anything while he was hitting her. He just heard the hammer hitting her head. He said it sounded wet, and then he laughs about it. After he was sure his mother was dead, he set the house on fire with his brother inside. Then he leaves the house. Josh wakes up because he smells smoke. He went into his mother's room to get her out, but then saw the horror scene of what just happened to his mother. He called 911 and then the police came. About 5.5 hours later, they found Zachary walking down the street. They put him inside of the police car along with his backpack that he was packing when he was in the house. They took him down to the station, and that's where he admitted to unaliving his mother. When they asked him why did he do it, he had multiple reasons, but one was his mother wasn't taking care of the family. Another one was that his dead father told him to do it because she wasn't being loyal. He said he set the house on fire and was hoping to unalive his brother too. They asked him, why did you want to kill your brother? And he said because his brother R-worded him. He said one day they were wrestling and he forced himself on him. He said he told his mom, but all she did was yell at him and did not believe him. He said he wishes he would have unalived his brother first with the sledgehammer instead of his mom first and setting the house on fire to make sure that he unalived him too. Now Josh is saying this is the first time he's ever heard these accusations. He says that he loves his brother and he would never do anything like that to him. I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems as though Zachary could be a liar. I just know that Zachary was on the stand, possibly most likely lying and confusing people. When they called Zachary to the stand, he said it was his brother who committed the crime. He said he didn't do it. He said his brother Josh is the one who unalived their mother and burned the house down. And during the Dr. Phil interview, if you listen closely, it sounds like he said it wasn't
Kill
me.
your mother?
Yeah.
Let me know what you think about that. But when he got up there and said that, he had everyone in the courtroom confused. The jury was confused, and his lawyer was really confused because they're trying to plead insanity. Now, because he got on the stand and said it wasn't me, he went through a mini psych evaluation. They were going back and forth on this. Some people were saying he was not mentally stable to stand trial, while other people were saying he is definitely mentally stable and just evil. So the court was trying to decide whether or not he was a monster or severely mentally ill. But even though they tried to plead insanity, the jury still found him guilty. At just 15 years old, Zachary Davis was sentenced to 50 years to life, then got more time added on that added up to 71 years mandatory. As far as those additional years added, those were for attempted first-degree murder and aggravated arson. If anyone cares, Zachary says he cannot sleep at night because his dead father talks to him all night. I don't care about him getting no sleep. And also, I think that his mother should have never taken him out of his psychiatric appointments, because if he's saying that he's hearing voices and his dead father is talking to him, I think he should have been kept in there. But y'all let me know what you think about this case in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.